What do you want out of life, baby? More frags, higher damage, hot chicken dinners. I want to give it all to you, starting with this video right here. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a little bit of love, justice, and sunshine from the big bald Aussie. Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. Today, we're going to talk about desync. I'm going to explain why I am pro-leaning and firing an awful lot, how it's improved the way I play and improved my results, and how Japan is to blame for all of this. I'll get to that in a second, Japanese players. And I'm going to give you a reason why this little snippet of footage here is exceptionally important, and this is how you should be playing the game a lot more often than not. What I did was I took two iPads, put them on my desk, I synced them up perfectly so they're recording at exactly the same time, and then I've gone and edited the footage and cut it up, and we'll come back to that little snippet of footage there at the end of this. And I want to talk to you about desync. Now, these iPads are exactly synced with the server. There is a huge advantage to being the aggressive guy who is moving. Now, bearing in mind, I'm going to pause this for a second. Now, just try to control yourself from losing your minds because nothing's happening on the screen. The guy on the right has zoomed out. He's strafed out to the left. And he is completely in the middle of the doorway and can see the target in front of him. The target on the left cannot see a thing. And this is in real time. Hey, so what happens here, this is desync, is the guy on the left doesn't know he's actually being shot at already. So the server receives the gunfire from the guy on the right and then transmits it to, like it decides, hey, you've been hit, you're dying. By the time the guy on the left sees this, the only way he can recover is if he rips the guy on the right apart with a headshot or something like that. But if he doesn't, then he's going to get beat. And that's because desync is a real thing. When there's movement on the server, the movement has to be relayed to the server. It's why there's a massive advantage for anyone that peeks out like you see me doing in these clips. And it's not always a tremendously obvious thing because, these are perfectly synced up. It's 170 milliseconds is the ping I have to the server. And not surprisingly, that's, 1,000 milliseconds in a second, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, 170 milliseconds, 17.17 of a second is the distance, is the time that I'm not seeing the target before it hits me. Because that's the time it takes for the server to send me the information. There is a real advantage to being the aggressive guy that's peeking, and there's a real advantage to being the guy that peeks and leans and fires and pulls back in. Now, it doesn't always work perfectly in your favor, but what this does is it gives you a little bit of a chance against guys with low ping. And the reason I mentioned the Japanese players before is because so often I will feel like I am winning a gunfight, and then I'll just lose all my hit points suddenly while I'm back behind a wall. And I look at the ping, and it's a Japanese player. And it's crazy because those guys must have fantastic ping. The guys that I've seen streaming from Japan, I've seen guys on 20 ping. And for someone that runs 140 to 170 at times, that's pretty scary. And you can see it's not always obvious, like in real time. But when you slow it down, it's absolutely clear as a bell. Look at it from the other perspective. The guy on the left is going to be moving forward, strafing to his left, zoomed in. The guy on the right has his shotty ready to go, but look, like he's completely visible. If that's a headshot into an unarmored helmet, it doesn't matter. And this is why you're pre-firing as you do it. And let's go back and look at this clip here. I am pre-firing as I'm going around this corner, and these guys are getting rinsed because I'm doing it right. Because you know what? I figured this out after watching a few videos on the interwebs and put it into my gameplay, and suddenly I'm losing less of those confrontations. And that's something you should probably be doing too. Now, I'm going to be doing a video on movement because this didn't happen for me overnight, the ability to be fluid like this, but it did happen. And there are a lot of things I do, and I haven't talked about it a lot, but I really put myself on like a 10-step program to get better at movement within the game. And I'm pretty certain if you've been watching the videos for the last wee while, you would have noticed this improvement in the movement and in the not so much the accuracy, but just the way I'm playing. And a lot of this is brought on because I just kept getting wrecked by these guys with really, really low ping in these situations where I would set myself up on a corner and let them come in. And they've already got an advantage from low ping. And yet, I'm letting them come through. And there's the Japanese kid there, right? I'm very, very happy to have wiped them because they seem to be the guys who give me the most trouble in game. Good on them, because there are a lot of very, very good players out there. And yeah, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Very short, very sweet. There's a lot going on channel at the moment. I'll just let some footage run in the background while I do this. This is actually another really good example of this. Make sure you join the Discord server. I just did a G36C. Look how I'm firing as I come out in a strafe from cover every time. I just did a G36C review. The numbers for that are now up on the spreadsheet, or if they're not, I'm going to put them up there now. But basically, the numbers are exactly the same as every other 5.56 AR, so don't freak out. If you haven't looked at the spreadsheet with all the numbers, I mean, watch this peek and fire here. That guy's got absolutely no chance. So I know now that he's already smashed. I'm just going to go up, pre-fire, keep him trapped in the corner, and work him over again. The numbers on the G36C are not what it's about. It's obviously about the recoil. If you want to look at all the other numbers, I've got all the guns up there on my Discord server. The link for the Discord server is in the description below. I'll also leave it as a link down there for the ESL Mobile Open, which is something you should probably go and enter if you're a North American player. Not North American, if you're from the United States of America. And yeah, keep an eye out. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on some of the mechanics of PUBG Mobile over the next wee while, because I think that things like this are important. A lot of the player base just doesn't understand. Watch, here comes the guy. I'm going to get behind a wall again. I mean, pro lean out, start firing, pre-fire. It works. It really works. You need to be doing this. You need to get your... look, I'm going to do another video on this. I'm going to do a complete other video on movement. It's really, really important that you get your movement right. And there's ways, if you're going to be playing the game anyway, there's ways you can work on it. And I'll explain to you exactly what they are in another video. But suffice to say that it's just like doing weights or going to the gym. You just work on things a tiny little bit at a time and improve a tiny little bit at a time. And this pre-fire and pro lean is the guts. You really need to start doing this. It's going to make your gameplay a lot better and make you win a lot more of these close encounters. I just think the movement aspect of the game is vastly underrated, and for someone that likes to keep improving, it was a real revelation for me to work specifically on that, not so much just on the mechanics in terms of what the guns do and how they do them and making good decisions there. But there's a whole other aspect to it, you know, like which is not really emphasized a lot, and it's got a lot of variance to it. And anyway, subscribe, like the videos, give me a hand and share the videos around, would you? Because I'd like more subs. I need big numbers. Numbers make me happy. I'm pretty happy. I like what I do. See you guys. Love ya. Look after yourselves. You're good humans.